others celebrate the wins,
Yes.
we celebrate the mud.
each episode has a special guest.
Tony-nominated actress, Broadway's Lily Cooper.
Tashir Zameda.
David A. Gregory.
Getting messy with muddy topics.
We are going to be talking about grief journey.
With hilarious moments
Now get over here.
And deep conversations.
I'm ashamed to even admit this, but this is what happened.
This is Into the Mud.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Into the Mud podcast. While others celebrate the wins,
We celebrate the mud.
it's your favorite phrase.
It's the best, and it will make me laugh every time.
I know.
I'm Alex Cumin.
I'm Drew King, and today we have a super exciting guest on the podcast. I'm a bit of a super fan, so I'm thrilled that he's here. The beautiful, the incredible, the amazing, and genius Ben Abraham.
Well, thanks. What an introduction.
I know you got a full intro. And even most exciting, you are our first Aussie.
Oh,
on the
sweet.
podcast.
Well, I'm happy.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm happy to represent.
so very
You're
exciting.
coming in to
Yeah,
represent
I'm happy
your
to represent
entire
my whole.
country.
The whole country.
Everything you ever need to know about Australians, learn from me.
You're from Melbourne, right?
I am from Melbourne. Yeah.
How do you say Melbourne?
I mean, you can say Melbourne. Melbourne. What's
Melbourne.
important is the shortening of the second half, not Melbourne.
Melbourne.
So whether you say Melbourne, like we would say it, or
Okay.
Melbourne, you
Melbourne.
can use your American R,
Melbourne.
your rhotic R.
Melbourne.
But yeah, you would say Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Don't go
Melbourne.
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 Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay.
That's Melbourne feels very old Boston to me.
Yes. it does.
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
So when you go to the Melbourne Comedy Festival, you could say Melbourne, and they'd be like,
I'm going to give it my best Australian accent the whole time I'm there.
Okay, Ben. Super thrilled that you're here. This is so
Happy to
exciting.
be here.
Thank you for taking the time to be
My
here.
pleasure.
It's so wonderful.
I love it.
And I think you're going to talk about a topic that hits really home for Alex and myself. Certainly.
for Alex.
For Alex. Not for me,
This is
because
great
I'm
once you find out the topic.
Relax.
It
I'm
really hits
crushing it.
home, particularly for Alex. So let's get into it.
Failure.
for both of us. We're talking about failure.
Yeah.
Failure. Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Failure. So especially Alex knows a lot about
Yeah.
this.
Alex, you've
Alex,
been
what's it like to be a fucking
blowing
loser?
it nonstop. And
Oh, it's
I don't
so
know.
dark.
Let's kick it to Ben.
How's your failure, Ben?
Well, let's start with just you tell us a little bit about yourself and your career path thus far.
Great question. So I'm a musician. I'm a singer-songwriter. And I had a sort of unusual trajectory, I suppose, for someone in my career. I grew up in a musical family, grew up playing music in church. So music was very much part of my identity of just who I am. And as a result, it's never really something that I wanted to do. Coming out of high school, I really wanted to be a filmmaker. So actually, after I finished high school, I went and studied screenwriting and thought I was going to be like a movie director, screenwriter, and then I was really bad at that. But I, at the same time, just grew up playing music, and at one point, sort of accidentally started like writing songs and playing them. And my friend invited me to open for her at a show once, and I did it, and I was like, wow, I think I might be really good at this. So it very much became something that I did on the side while I was pursuing, my film career. But it became pretty obvious that music was just what my skill was. And so I for years just like cultivated a very like outsider approach. In Australia, because the government has a big involvement in the arts, there are really like pathways. If you want to be a musician, there are certain like radio stations that you like sign up for, and there's like websites and things. And I know it's kind of
That's
crazy.
amazing.
It's good, and there are good things and bad things about it. It does have the effect of kind of culturally bottlenecking things, or certainly did when I was younger. Because I was such an outsider, I just never engaged with those things. So I became really good at, like, in the early days of my career, just like playing shows in venues that you were not known as like cool music venues. I'd just be like, I don't know, there's a stage.
They'll let me play,
they'll
let's
let
do
me
it.
play. And so that sort of the spirit of that was like a huge part of how I began. And then over the years, built a bit of a following in Australia, eventually found managers in the US that liked what I was doing. I could never really get anyone in Australia that interested in what I was doing in terms of the industry.
Is it a competitive music field over there?
It's hard for me to talk about it in the present tense because I haven't been there for so long.
Sure.
When I was coming up, I would say if you weren't part of the kind of stream of like, it's like, in comedy,
I've heard of it.
how there's like the alt comedy scene, or there's there's certain lanes of comedy, and if you don't get part of that little community in the club, it becomes very hard to get access to sort of
Yeah, or if you start in
venues.
one, hopping over can
Exactly.
be tough. Yeah.
If you're a complete outsider, which I felt like I was in Australia, I really just weirdly had to do everything on my own. But eventually, what I was doing caught the attention of US managers. I then got US managers who then very quickly I then got like a publishing deal in the States, and then got a record deal, and then I put out my first album through the indie record label called Secretly Canadian.
Oh, they do a lot of comedy.
They do a lot of comedy.
I
When
went
I
to one of their
signed-
first recordings in Bloomington, Indiana. They
Exactly.
were working with.
I flew up
Yes.
for an interview in Bloomington. I flew over on like a Thursday, had the meeting on the Friday, got back on a plane on the Saturday.
They're also the nicest. I
are the
remember
best.
meeting them and being so blown away
Yeah.
at how wonderful they were.
Well, when I met them, they had just had huge success with Tig Notaro's Cancer.
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, there you go. So they put out my first album. I think they realized after signing me that I was not quite as cool as a lot of the rest of the roster. I was probably a little bit more toward the center than what they were used to. So it was an interesting, I mean, I love them and I have nothing bad to say about them, but it was an interesting fit for us. And then in that time, I had some other success as a songwriter where just songs that I was writing with other artists was circulating. So this is becoming a really long life history.
It's exactly what I asked for.
Okay,
It's
great.
exactly
Well,
what
it'll
I-
it'll
just
feed
what we
into
need.
where we're going.
It's just
but
perfect.
Yep.
The songs that I was writing with other artists caught the ears of Craig Kalman, the president of Atlantic Records, and I met with him, and he was like, "What are you doing on an indie label?" And I was like, "I don't know. I thought I could be Sufjan Stevens," and he was like, "No." So they bought out my contract. Like I had a 3-album deal with Secretly, Atlantic bought it out, and it was just I guess
How
why
old were
go
you at
into
this time?
Oh well, Secretly I would have been 28. Atlantic.
You were secretly 28,
I
or
was
you were
secretly
28 at Secretly?
Secretly, I was 28. At Secretly Canadian, I think I was around 28, 29. And
Okay.
then Atlantic was, I'm really bad at math. I bet it would have been 33, 34.
Okay.
I don't mind going into detail because what I had felt for years was this incredible sense of like self-generated momentum. Like I was the outsider who was doing my own thing, and then like this cool indie label heard it and liked it, who also does Bon Iver and Phoebe Bridgers, and then Atlantic, who were like the most popular. They had like Cardi B, Ed Sheeran, Coldplay, like they had the big Bruno Mars. They were like, we like what you're doing, and they bought me out, and then I put out my next album through them,
Wow.
and
That was Friendly Fire.
that was called Friendly Fire.
Yes.
It took me years to make. It was a huge, epic, poetic undertaking for me as a human being, as an artist. When I got bought out by Atlantic, it became clear that I should like move my life to America. So we made the album Friendly Fire, and I was like, I think when we put this album out, I'm going to live in America full time. So I packed up my life in Melbourne. I had attempted to live back and forth and it just wasn't working. So I packed up my life in Melbourne. We finished the album. We were getting it mixed in January 2020. And that's when I moved to LA. And I have a photo of me on the streets of New York City because we had the album mixed by this guy, Michael Brower, who's a legend in the music business. He mixed, Coldplay and just a bunch of incredible albums. I have this photo of me after that, just selfie on the streets of New York being like, today was a special day.
Yeah.
Because the album was meant to come out 2020 and then it didn't.
Wow.
It eventually came out 2 years later. By that time, the entire music industry had changed. The entire status of what a major label meant and could do had changed. Look, at the end of the day, I think work probably has to speak for itself or not. So I don't want to try and suggest that if it had come out, it would have done better. But for whatever reason, when it came out, it was 2 years after when it was meant to come out. And then I get this call shortly after from the president of the label who signed me, who was like, so we lost about $1 million on your project. And I was like, let's go. And so then they dropped me. And I'm an independent artist again.
Whoa.
Who lives in Los Angeles.
Oh my God.
California.
Journey.
Yeah.
Journey.
So, I mean,
Failure.
I just feel like I talked for a long time, but where
it's
you have caught me
so
now,
helpful.
Yeah.
momentum. Every opportunity led to a bigger, higher up the ladder, in my thinking, opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And it is crazy to feel like you have the kind of rug pulled out from under you, and you really are left as an artist, especially when you're a solo artist. You really come to terms with the fact that, like, I run a business, and at the end of the day, it's my business. My manager, my label, whoever else I'm partnering with are partners, but like, they all can leave at any point, and I'm still supposed to be like,
Yeah.
what do I do next? So that's where we are now.
And what a place to be.
So
Yeah, right. Let's talk.
Let's
failure.
gab.
Yeah.
I resonate with this from the opposite end. I resonate with this from someone who's been chipping away at this for so fucking long, and I'm
Yeah.
not getting the success that I want or that I see other people getting. But hearing your story, it's a reminder that this industry, and Drew, years of Broadway dancing and being in the entertainment industry as well, there's so many different ways that this industry sucks the life out of you, and how difficult it can be, and the ups and downs that
Yeah.
people don't see, and how difficult it is. People are like, oh man, that's you're on stage and you're performing
Yeah.
and you're this and you're social media and that, and like they see the big shiny moments, but they don't see this part,
Yeah.
and they don't
Yeah.
see the struggle, and they don't see the, like, it's mostly crash, like it's mostly failure. And you hear that a lot, right? You hear that a lot, like, of like people being like, it's mostly failure, it's mostly rejection. But I'm so curious to know where you are currently right now. How do you feel about like the trajectory of your career and your enthusiasm for it? Because I know for me, I hit a point this summer where I was like, okay, girl, let's get real.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
do you want to do this anymore? And I came to the realization that, yes, I do, but I have to do it differently. I have to pivot 2 degrees, because the way I'm doing it is not working for me. So I'm
Yeah.
just interested to know, after this whole experience, this like unbelievable like up and down that you've had, where do you feel right now career-wise, and where you want it to go?
This new phase has been very new for me, because I would say until really up till I got dropped, I just felt like I had this real North Star of ambition that I was like chasing. I don't even know what it was, but I just knew that I was like driven, and I had like business partners and like the record label, essentially business partners, propelling me and working with me. And when you lose all of that, it really is just up to you. Like, there's nobody going like, Ben, what's your next project? Like, what are we doing next? And finding the motivation this season has been really hard. I just turned 40. I'm old enough to see, I know what the music business used to be, and I kind of can see the landscape of what it is now. Sometimes I feel like I know too much I feel like in the movie Everything Ever All at Once, where the daughter's crisis is essentially like, when you can see everything that happens, everything that you do becomes meaningless.
The nihilism. Yeah.
Exactly. It feels, I have both still the creative dreamer in my brain that picks up a guitar and sings something and writes something and goes, oh, this is so precious and beautiful. And then the business part of my brain that goes, and for what? Like, you won't make money. I put a song out earlier in the year that I spent $5,000 on, because I philosophically love to pay people when I work with them. So I paid 2 guys to produce it, to mix and master it. I paid someone to take a photo of me for it. And all up, it was $5,500. Wow. Came out in April, and so far the song has made $461. And so I sit there, and I still am the dreamer with a piano who's like, art can change the world. And then when I put my business hat on, I'm just like, what? What are you doing? Find a different career. I'm like you, except I'm also like, I'm not really good at anything else.
I legit rebooted LinkedIn this summer. I reopened LinkedIn and uploaded a new profile picture, and then I looked at it and I was like,
Incredible. Incredible.
I can't do it. A resume? Eat my ass. No, thank you. Absolutely not. I can't. I had to journal out what happens if you quit. Like, I was like, literally, you quit tomorrow. Let's talk about what the next few months look like. And that exercise actually helped me to be like, okay, now at least you know that that's a path if you want it. And I immediately was like, it's not the path I want in this moment, but like, it's out there. That's one of the paths. That's one of the ways that it could go.
That's interesting.
It's complicated. I went through the same thing, or not the same thing, but I went through a similar situation where I felt like I experienced, the high of my career performing for Broadway. It's like you book a Broadway show, but then the show closes and then there's nothing left to catch you after it. It's
The
just
whiplash from
emptiness.
that, for actors and performers that are project-based, I can't even fathom how you handle that.
Well, the complicated part for me is that I wanted it to be a career. I love performing. I love singing. I love dancing. I love acting. I wanted that to be the full length of my career, was that like, I'm just embellishing on this and I'm building and I'm growing and I'm learning and it'll just get better and better and better. But you're right. It was project based. And then it became, then my business hat came on.
Because
And
you have that season where you're like, this is the best I can do. But at some point the project ends, unless I guess you're in Wicked, but who's done Wicked for 20 years, whatever. Like,
yeah. It's tough. And then the finances kick in and then you start freaking out and you're like, well, how am I going to pay my bills? How did I make 6 figures last year? And then now I'm on unemployment. For me, it was the ups and the downs that were like jarring me so much. But I specifically remember I was with my ex-boyfriend and we went to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
He was in a Broadway show at the time, so he was fully employed and doing fine. I was like 100% unemployed and like catering nonstop. And I remember that exact moment where Stephanie Sue has that whole talk in particular about nihilism and being like, what's the point?
Yeah.
The bagel or whatever.
Yes.
And I just broke down and I started weeping because it hit me so hard that I was like, oh, I have lost all hope in regards to my artistry and my version of what, I don't know, like my artistic voice and what I wanted to say. And then with social media, it felt like any artistic endeavor. I was taking a lot of writing classes. We were starting this podcast. Like every single thing that I was working on had to be monetized. Yeah. And it had to go somewhere and everyone had to like it. And that kind of wrecked temporarily, like kind of like really tainted my artistic ambition and my artistic voice.
I have been trying to get back to the naive innocence of being a 21-year-old with a guitar. So part of why I was happy to go into such detail at the beginning, I just assumed nobody cared what I was doing. And I'm one of the lucky ones. Like it feels absurd to me to even complain about how hard my career is because like I've had amazing highs, but I do think I probably got distracted by the infrastructure that was built around me. And it did marry my art to paying my rent, which is, unfortunately what a successful career is supposed to do. But when I go back, if I boil it down to who I was as a kid, I never thought about making money through music. That's not why I made music. And at the end of the day, if everybody left and nobody listened to what I did, I would still pick up an instrument and play and sing. The latest era for me is trying to get back to the purest form of what I do and to learn how to separate it from the money, while also facing the reality of like, I do have to pay my bills and figure out how to do that part. But you
do that through it's getting back to basics. That's what I needed to get back to, was like, you don't love this right now. Figure out what made you fall in love with this.
Yeah.
Beginner's mindset. Like go back to a fucking open mic if you need to.
Yeah.
Remember what it feels like to get messy and to be to try something new and to not have people watch. Because I think I read this thing, I forget who said it, but it was like, at the beginning of your career, nobody's watching you and you don't have an audience, but then you build this audience and people have expectations of you, and you spend the rest of your career trying to get back to where you were at the beginning so that you can do the thing that you want rather than the thing that people are expecting you to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like because you had so much, and it seems like kind of like meteoric success pretty early on.
Sure. by comparison to
Maybe
other
not-
people,
maybe not.
sure.
Okay, but
Yeah.
for
me, it doesn't feel like that. But I know that there's somebody
you
who looks
have
at
been doing
right,
it
yeah.
for your whole life, but it sounds like
No, but I know that
make
there's someone
some-
else that looks at it and goes, "Oh my god."
It's all
that's
relative.
Well,
but-
and not in a and I say
Because
that-
I wrote with Kesha, so I look at that. I'm like, that's meteoric success.
That's
I know. I
incredible
sent that to
song.
her
That's
today.
one of my
It's one of my favorite songs.
Oh my god.
We are
Praying, yeah. Oh my God.
Unbelievable. But I feel like as you were talking, I was like that your North Star, because you had so much external validation so early on and so many people being like, we love what you do, with good reason because it's amazing, but that your North Star was almost like outside of you.
Yeah.
And like, how do you, that's where I'm trying to get to right now is how do I make my North Star me and what I want versus chasing the thing that I'm supposed to be?
Well, another thing that I've really been reconnecting with, especially in the age of social media and now that like AI has become a really big conversation, is realizing also like forgetting the business of music. What actually can I gift the world? Not just my songs, but like I think if you ever come to one of my shows, I hope that I write great songs, but I think ultimately what I offer is like the way I sing, the way I play, I know that it like calms people. I know that it helps shift the atmosphere of a room. And I've also been reconnecting with that, like, okay, well, how can I actually serve the world? Not just contribute to the noise, not just extract value from people's bank accounts, like, even though I want to do that on some level. But actually, like, at a human level, why have I been given this gift of music and how can I actually help people in their days? Because that also then gives me the inspiration to be like, that's why it's worth, like, roughing it and playing shows where you're not necessarily making a lot of money, but, like, it's worth it because people, I just know this, I've had this over my career, this feedback. People come into my shows feeling one way and they leave feeling another. You know, it's not proving to be the most profitable gift, but I think it's a valuable gift, you know, that I can offer people.
It's such a unteachable skill too. That's like a gift you're born with. You know what
Well,
I
and it's-
mean? Like
and it's-
that's
It's computers can't do that.
no, they
you know,
No,
like-
they can't.
not yet.
Yeah.
We're petitioning for energy shifting
Yeah.
AI. Thank you. I had to ask myself so many questions this summer of like, and I think of is it Rilke? The some years are questions and some years are answers. Because like you keep saying like, I'm in this season. And that has helped me get out of my rut too of being like, it's a season. This will pass. Like this year is a lot of questions. And like, stop white knuckling. The answers are not going to come to you right now. You just have to live the questions.
Well, I also, today I was listening to Ezra Klein's podcast. He had Brian Eno on.
I don't know.
If you listened to
No.
Brian Eno's an ambient composer, musician. But he said something that I think is, they were talking about art practice. And Brian has this quote where he says, in his approach to making music, he wants to be a gardener, not an architect. The idea that an architect has an image or a blueprint in their mind and they're creating to meet the blueprint, but a gardener plants seeds and says, what's going to grow? And I think that's really powerful for creative practice, but even for a career in the arts. I think we all idolize these heroes or look at these pathways of other people and we go, oh, I want a career that looks like that, or I want to do what that person's doing. And then we make the mistake of like choosing roles or choosing songs or choosing to work or trying to like control our futures rather than just like, I'm just going to throw seeds on the ground and actually see what grows. And see, like Mark Maron, who just finished his podcast, is a great example. He's a great comedian, but like in a weird way took this crazy left turn doing a podcast that then fed back into his, comedy career. I think I am learning that lesson. Not that I have any other great big successes happening at the moment, but just letting go of the like expectations of what a music career is.
But I think that's usually when things take off. It's always when you release, we've talked about this, when you hold on to something and you're gripping something so tight and expecting an outcome, you're not allowing it to go where it needs to go.
Yeah.
And then once you release
and you're
the
often
grip,
you're blind to what it is actually doing.
yeah.
You're like, you're trying to dictate like, no, we're going to go left. And it's like, this thing's not going the way you're trying to.
But it feels like you've been through a gardening phase. I mean, it sounds like when you were in Melbourne, you kind of scattered your seeds, you created your music, and then producers from America were like, whoa, we like your vegetables, come over here. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, again, like I never thought that I would live in America. So I've had that. I think this is part of the interesting, like, if I look back at the last 8 years, the like haze of success. For me, like failure is even a slightly misleading, because I don't even really know if I know what failure means, other than like if you have a goal and then you like fall short of that goal. I don't even know what my goal was. I just know that I look back and I'm like, I feel like a lot of people thought this was going to go a different way to what it has gone. And now I'm the one left in the reality of like...
Failure
Do you
relative to everyone
feel-
else's expectations.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you feel more weighed down with what other people think about your career?
I feel not weirdly, like my audience is the best.
Yeah.
You know, here's a super fan right here.
I am literally, I think I'm in like, you get the Spotify rap.
Stop it.
I'm in the like 0.01
Oh, that's
percentage.
amazing.
It's like you and like Robin, honestly. So
Absolutely incredible.
maybe Yanni's number 3.
Perfect. Perfect. My audience are the best. Like they show up for me, which has been great. I have felt, you know, I don't like, I'm still working with my manager I've worked with for 10 years. I'm definitely not making him money. And I feel a weird sense of, and I know that like he has other clients that are making him money and stuff, but it's hard not to be like, we got into this and we've had those phone calls of like, we're going to do it. And we both went to the Grammys together when we played Praying at the Grammys, you know, like I do sometimes feel not even guilt, but just a disappointment. Of
I feel that so hard,
Mm-hmm.
specifically with my manager,
yeah,
where I'm like, I am letting you down with every job I don't get.
yeah.
And it's like, and I keep being like, hey, shut up. That's not going to help. Like that doesn't help anyone.
Yeah.
But it's so you feel a
And
responsibility.
that's not coming from my manager. My manager.
No, of course. My manager's amazing.
Not
And
that
it's
I know
like,
of.
you're crushing it. Let's go.
Yeah.
When you start to have people that like, not even are relying on you, but are just like, when you start to build that team out of like more people watching, more people having a hand in your path, you do feel this responsibility and a sort of edging away from like the thing that got you into it at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I've never felt so disconnected from the creative part of stand-up until this year. And it's no surprise that that's when I had my crisis of like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, because I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm focused on numbers. I'm focused on selling tickets at the club because of my social media. Like, and it's when I was like trying to figure out, why do I want to stay in this? I was like, well, why do you like stand up? And it's like, well, because I love making people laugh. And it's like, okay. But I also, what's beneath that? And my thing is, I love making people feel like they are okay. Like you are not alone. We are going to laugh about HPV. We are going to laugh about cancer. We are going to laugh about the shit that women are told that they're not allowed to talk about.
And shitting your pants.
And shitting your pants. Most of all.
Wow.
And most of all, shitting your
Powerful.
pants.
Yeah, that's powerful.
really powerful.
That is powerful.
That's-
I mean, everyone. I feel like everyone has one shitting your pants story.
One.
Oh,
I have like 30.
but I feel like everyone has one that's like, if
The one.
only if
Yeah.
you knew
If
the
you
story.
knew. But to your point of what you said before about you have this ability to like change a room or like make people like, I think once you start to figure out like, what is my unique thing? Like, what do I bring to the table that like other people can't? And not in like, because I'm better, but like just what's my uniqueness? What's the thing that I bring? That's been helpful in reestablishing what I want to be doing right now.
Yep.
I think that's something that's innate within all artists and performers. There's something. It might not always be, front-facing musical theater of like, wow, I'm going to tap dance and I'm great. Or comedy, I'm going to make people laugh. But I think that there's something inside most performers and artists that draws people to them and draws audiences to them, whether it's loud or soft, I feel. And so I think that you being able to change the vibe and the energy of a room for your fans is a special skill that a lot of people do not have. Is the same as you. It was like people coming in depressed and then walking out of the room laughing. And me, like, I don't know, the lap ball changing and then... No, but also being able to like embrace a room of people and bring some like levity and light and energy or something. It's
to be able to shift a room because most people walk into a room and adapt to the energy of that room to fit in.
Yeah.
Or because that's just how they are. But to walk into a room full of people where the energy is maybe low vibrational or just not in the most positive space, one person shift whether it's 50, 200, or 2,000,
Yep.
to go, I'm gonna bring this up. That is hard. Takes a lot can take a lot out of you, but also truly such a beautiful thing.
Well, it's also just when you can do it, it's a good time to just keep checking in with like, what does the world need of us right now? And I think that I'm entertaining, but I think ultimately my gift is to like kind of comfort people. And I was talking about this with a friend of mine who's just gone out on tour, and I don't want to say who they are, just because I don't want to embarrass them.
Madonna, we know.
It's Madonna. They just played a show in their hometown, and they were like, it's the lowest selling show I've ever done in my town. Wow. And they're touring this new, and they've had bigger, they've been nominated for Grammys and had bigger success than me, and some, according to some kind of definitions of success. But they are also someone, you put a guitar in their hands, and it just, the moment they start singing, everyone in the room just goes, ah. So it's like, you know, we've been lucky. We lived during a time of human existence where we could make money off our art, and that was a real privilege. And I learned a lot of great lessons that I wish I could go back 10 years and be like, save your money. But for better or worse, like whether I'm making the money or not, like not everyone can do what we do, and we do on some level have to find a way to do it, to just help in the ways that we can.
Mm-hmm.
In this age that we're living in, that we are lucky to live in, there is also this demand for like immediacy, and like it all needs to happen now. It's all got to be, and if you were successful this year, you got to be more successful next year. And it's like, that's actually not how life works, seasons work, how the flow of anything works. Like it's up, it's down, it's nonlinear. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who's a musician, and they had just played this like sold out show at Red Rocks, and then then the next week we're like 60% sales in like in the Midwest. And him and I talk a lot about this exact thing of like the ups, the downs, career trajectory, where you're supposed to be, where other people who you started before or after, who've been doing it longer, who've been doing it shorter, and where are they? And that's some of, to me, the biggest thing I need to work on is my own brain for this industry, to just keep coming back to myself and keep coming back to that North Star that's here, rather than, oh, well, I didn't get the thing, or I got the thing and I don't have the thing anymore. And what if I never get the thing again? And it's like, just keep coming back to what you love about it.
Yep.
Have you found any of those moments? I know you're currently in this phase and in this chapter where you feel a little bit lost and defeated, but in those moments where in private you just sit down with your piano or your guitar and just play, have you been, I don't know, like I guess spiritually or emotionally brought back to that North Star?
Yes. I also, so I grew up in church, and I actually, there's a church that I go to in LA, and I help play music there. And that has actually, in terms of the act of playing music and just connecting with the flow and just on the spiritual level, that has like carried me through. That's the good feeling I get. Just being able to play, you know, on the piano there and just contribute. That has been, that's also just reminded me of like, oh yeah, it's also big, like especially music, like it's bigger than us. Like it's a privilege that I can be like, everyone look at me, but like ultimately, you know, music is beautiful in an ensemble, and it's beautiful to like contribute to the kind of room of other instruments and things. So that has definitely helped. I haven't done a lot of songwriting this year because I'm trying to wade through the fog, and I'm okay with that. Like I've gone through seasons of writer's block and things like that. What I've been doing actually, and I'm going to put an EP out early next year. This is an exclusive that you guys are getting.
Oh my God. You heard it here first.
Where I have been, there's a couple of newish songs, but I've also been going back and just finding old songs that I've written for friends and about people in my life. And I've been recording like really simple acoustic self-produced versions of those songs. And I'm going to put one out in a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to announce an EP next year. But I've been just trying to go back to, it's just like going back to the innocence of like the innocence and the spirituality of where I began. That I don't even think I realized that I'd lost, but that I
Yeah. It's the same way that like we lose playfulness.
Yeah.
That like at a certain age, it's just we stop building sandcastles and we start having to color in the lines. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, literally like today I was like, I got my like flu and COVID vaccines. Science is real. And I was like, why don't I get a lollipop anymore? Like,
Yeah, that's right.
give me a lollipop.
Yeah.
I don't love needles. I didn't love that. I'm still a kid who deserves a nice little treat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
give
bring
me
you a
a little
lollipop
treat.
next time I see you.
Please do.
Yes, I got you.
Cherry.
Yeah.
Cherry.
A sucker.
Yes.
Cherry sucker.
But it's this like we like sever like playfulness and childlike curiosity. And it's like that's the core of it all. That's the whole fucking point of this is to maintain that.
Do you feel, we've talked about this a lot, it's a theme that seems to come up often, about elitism, especially within your craft and within the field, meaning as you are experiencing moments of great success and elitism, and then there's the fallout that comes from it. Do you, like, are you missing the, I guess I'll say it, the validation of what it means to be
On a
in
major label or
successful
something?
chapter with a major
Oh,
label,
sure.
performing at the Grammys, writing a song with Kesha?
No, actually, the experience of those things helps me realize how pointless all of that stuff
Really?
is. Yeah.
Okay.
The Grammys was the best. We had so much fun, and it's a TV show in a basketball arena. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so glad I had those experiences, what for me felt like early in my career, because it just demystified all of it. I was like, I get what this is. Look, would I love to win those awards? Yes, for the amount of effort that people around me have put into my career and my music, it would feel very validating to just even be able to turn around to them and go like, hey guys, it was worth it because the world is recognizing. But no, for me, no, I don't. In a weird way, that I feel very immune from that pressure. What I do struggle with, and I say this as someone who's had the privilege, I mean, I'm in the top 1% of people that can make a living off music. But what I struggle with is like watching my income like plummet. That I can't not, as a 40-year-old who at some point would love to own a house, that's not a great place to be as a guy entering his 40s. So it's like, which is such a, you should never like marry art and commerce, but it's, unfortunately, when you're 20 years old, you don't care about that
matter.
stuff.
It
You're
doesn't
like,
matter.
Whereas once you're in your 40s, you're like, I do need to start thinking about like, am I going to be like 60, like sleeping on friends' couches when I tour? Like,
I just had this conversation today with a friend of mine. I've said a few times now, I started a corporate job last Monday. So
good
like,
for you.
Yeah.
This is my
Yes.
whenever I hear about anyone in the music biz that's like they have a real job, I'm like, they got out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You made it.
they got out.
that's,
They were
I
the
mean,
crab
they
that made it
survived-
to
they
the top of the
survived.
pond.
Yes, exactly.
We're all trying to stay in here.
The one sea turtle that made it across the road down the beach and into
Yeah.
the water without getting eaten up.
Congratulations.
It's amazing.
Congratulations, yes. I'm very excited about it. I
Or commiseration.
no. I'm actually I'm very excited.
Whatever
about
you
it.
That's
need.
the EP.
Whatever you need in this moment, I'm sending your way.
You know what? It's probably all the above. I'm kind of experiencing all of it right now, though, because I'm sitting in these Zooms and I'm like, whoa, this is a completely different world than, dancing for 8 hours in a studio, sweating my balls off and going to bed exhausted and never been happier.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm unhappy with what I'm doing right now, but I, Drew, resent that commerce or, paying your bills has to be tied to your art in America. That is a huge resentment.
Not
of
just
mine.
America, I would say
In most of the
everywhere.
world, yes.
The other thing that I would say is, as a musician, I can self-generate work.
Mm-hmm.
From beginning to end, I can do everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
Your art form inherently requires other people.
Yes, I know.
I mean, maybe you can do a one-man dance show, I don't know. But like even then, you still need, there are way more gatekeepers. I can get a guitar and stand down on the corner of Broadway
Yeah.
and 23rd and like,
That was you? You were
Exactly.
amazing. I think I put a quarter in
so much.
the case.
Well, I think that's what's been fun for Alex and I doing this podcast is to have some autonomy over what we're creating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get to create as a performer and as a comedian and stand up, but I guess for me, yeah, I have to show up. When I was doing a Broadway show, it's you show up when they're willing to hire you, when they're willing to let you into the room. And then you have to stand on that number. You have to lift that girl. You have to sing this note, and you have to do this thing, put the costume on at this number. And I was always an artist. My superlatives in elementary and high school were, most artistic. And I've always been an artsy, queer little boy that wanted to just explore the world and dream. And then I fell into this dream of mine of Broadway and theater and performing, and I love it and I loved it. It was wonderful, but I feel like I lost the spark because I don't feel like I had a voice unless I was playing a principal role, which is rare. And as a dancer, sure, if I'm in like a modern or contemporary class where you can like throw yourself in your own way, but Broadway, it's like you got to have Rockette precision sometimes. Yeah, and I lost that, so. I moved to corporate.
No, we're all having a little tower moment. Okay, things are burning to the ground, and then we rise like a phoenix from the ashes. But sometimes it takes the destruction, and it takes the everything fell apart, and where do we go next?
Yeah. That's a word. Gardeners, not architects.
Gardeners, not architects. I love that.
Architects. That's so
We
beautiful.
have to wrap it up.
Damn it, already?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love
This
this
has been great.
conversation.
Thanks,
It's been
guys.
amazing.
We could talk
Sorry.
forever.
Sorry, I've been such a downer.
So if you say
No,
sorry
it's
one more
been
time, I swear to
wonderful.
God, Ben.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I had a friend of mine who told me that because I also say I'm sorry. Every single thing I do, I'm like, I'm so sorry, thank you. No worries if not.
What am
Even
I,
when I was
Canadian?
DMing you, being like, come on the podcast, I was like, no worries if not. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine who said if I was a superhero, my name would be the Apologizer.
There were
Said,
What would be your kryptonite?
STIs. Okay, I don't know.
It's all of our kryptonite. It
Love
slows
that.
us down.
Yeah, it certainly
But it
does,
doesn't
honey.
stop us.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
That was terrible. Okay, give us your muddy moment.
Well, it's not super showy, but it was just extremely cringy and funny. So this is my muddy moment. I recently, I feel like I'm allowed to say this. I recently sang a friend down the aisle.
Can we ask who?
Well, I'm trying.
Don't say.
Don't say.
I won't say who it was.
Tell us after we record.
I'll tell you after we record.
Okay.
One of the greatest pleasures of my life.
Mm.
And then at the wedding afterwards, I saw this person and I thought, I have to go up to this person and tell them that when I was 15, 16, I wrote to their fan club email and said, Dear Josh Groban, I just think it's great that there's a male Christina Aguilera.
Oh my God, Ben.
Which is so demented on so many levels. So wrong vocally. Anyway, I saw him and I just went up and I said, Josh, I have to tell you something. And he laughed about it and now I'm friends with Josh Groban. The male Christina Aguilera.
Male Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
is a genie in a bottle.
I'm a good singer. I know that Josh Groban does not sing anything like Christina Aguilera. Why did I say that? But I said it.
But I love
question,
that
but I
you
love
wrote it also and
To
sent
a
it
fan club email.
and a stamp and a,
Exactly. I don't
Like-
think he certainly didn't remember it. Yeah.
That is so adorable.
he has it.
Oh my God.
He has
He
that
has it.
letter.
Yeah.
I was a loser. When I was a
Framed.
kid, I wrote a fan letter to, get this, Cabela magazine. Do you know what Cabela
No,
is?
that is.
It's like the fishing and hunting magazine.
Oh, that's.
What
And
did
I
you
love
have
that.
to write them
Because
about?
I was a fisherman as a kid.
Oh.
I
was a
love
fly
fishing.
fisherman.
I love this.
I'm a fly fisherman. And so I wrote them a letter and I was like, I just want to let you know, I love fly fishing and I love your gear. Thank you.
Did they give you any free gear? No.
No, I was hoping
Maybe
for.
they'll
I think that's
sponsor
why I
this
wrote them. Because I
episode.
was like,
Yeah.
maybe they'll send me like a
Yeah.
fly fishing rod. And they didn't. Oh, well, it's fine.
Well,
That's why it was more cringy than muddy, but it's.
no, was
It's,
perfect.
Okay, great.
It's all the above.
Don't
and I love it.
apologize.
Great.
Oh my
Don't
God. Hey,
apologize for
Josh.
my
Oh, no, I'm
Groban.
not.
Obviously, I would never do that. I don't do that.
Congrats.
Ben, this is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
Can we
you.
give you a moment to pitch your channels and your Patreon?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. My Instagram is Ben Abraham. You can figure out all the others. And then I'm on Patreon. So I will say on the Patreon thing, you don't have to financially support me. It actually, if there's an artist that you like who is on Patreon, it's a great way to connect with them directly because it's not algorithm based. It's like
Oh, wow.
everything they post, you will get to your inbox, and you can actually like. Because these days, I post about a show on Instagram, and everyone's like, "I didn't know you were in my city," and I'm like,
The
"I
next
posted
day, when are you
25
coming
times. I don't know how to
back?
tell you." Yeah,
So annoying. Wow.
Well, and check him out on tour at a city near you.
at a city near you. Who knows when?
Who
At
knows
some
when,
point.
but we'll see. All right. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Ben. This is
guys.
beautiful.
Lovely.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Love you all. Like, follow, subscribe. Have a good day.
Bye.
Pew, 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 pew.
Smash. Okay, bye.